this screenplay is adapted from your friend's book.
Yes.
So even though it's about, a young man and his father and a family, I suspect there's a lot of you in this story. Yes. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I think for every director, you have to find yourself in the stories that you make. So definitely, I mean, the springboard is Safraz's memoir for sure. He and I were both big Springsteen fans, have been since I was at school as well as him. And that's how we became friends, because of I sort of read an article by him on Springsteen. I got turned on to him when I was at school. At school, I had a Saturday job at Harrods in the record department. And I was there. I was really into Stax music and soul music. And one day, this English chap with long hair and a long beard said, "Oh, have you heard of Bruce Springsteen?" And I said, "Yes, but I'm not a rocker. I'm not into heavy metal." And he said, "No, he's not heavy metal." But I thought he was. He kind of looked like that person. And then he pulled out the album Born to Run, and he said, "You should have listened to this." And when he pulled out the album, for those of you who know, I was like, what? And this was a white dude and a black dude being very pally with each other, very friendly, all smiles. And I was really taken aback by that image, because for someone like me, that was a very rare image. So it was that image that I thought, what's this story? That's what got me into it. And that was a time in England, where there were turbulent times, right from the 70s on. As the father says, Enoch Powell was making those speeches of, anti-immigration speeches, and kind of sounds familiar. Anyway, that was going on there in England then. And I think that there was this big divide, because our parents, the immigrants, from the 60s, they were 50s, 60s, they had a back home to go to. But we were from England. We were either born or raised in England. So it was a time when everyone was trying to work out who we were identity-wise. So that's why that image was so potent for me at that time. Mm-hmm. And then I went to see him in 1985, and then Safraz and I became friends. And he said he's going to write this memoir. And then when I read the memoir, I said, "This is a great memoir. I know how to turn it into a terrific film, Safraz. But without Bruce Springsteen, there's nothing. We haven't got anything." And he's notorious about not giving his music, obviously.
So how did you get the boss to buy in?
So in 2010... we're very lucky. He came to London for the premiere of The Promise. Mm-hmm. And I got invited, because by then Bend It Like Beckham had been a bit of a hit. And so I was invited. I took Safraz as my plus one. And we both sort of stood on the red carpet, like waiting for Bruce to come by. And we didn't really have much of a plan. We just thought we might be able to talk to him at some point. But as he came down the carpet, we both turned into these like terribly nervous fans. And as he came in, he spotted Safraz. So as you saw, Safraz has seen him like 100 odd times. But not only that, he's hung around outside hotels for days on it. He's stood outside cars.
Stalker,
now we'd call it stalking.
There was no word for it back then.
He's a fan back then. But he's always outside cars and hotels and, trying to get that little signature. But Bruce walks up, says to Safraz, "Hey, man, I read your book. It's really beautiful." And Safraz was, "Oh, my God!" He's just started to have a meltdown.
Did not expect that.
Said, "How did you read it? Who gave it to you?" Like that. And I'm like, okay, be professional. You've got 3 seconds to do a movie deal with Bruce Springsteen right now. And I just went, "Hi, Bruce. I'm Gurinder Chadha. I made Bend It Like Beckham." He said, "Yeah, I heard about that movie. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you love the book. We want to make a film of it. I'm going to direct it. Please really support us. We need your help. And he looked at us both and went, sounds good. Talk to John. And behind him was John Landau and Barbara Carr and Tracy Nurse, his managers. And as Bruce was whisked away, John went, what are you guys talking about? What is this? We said, the book. He likes the book. And then we exchanged emails with Tracy Nurse and kept in touch. And that's how it all started. When we sent him the script, the word came back from Tracy Nurse. And she said, oh, he's read it. And I was like, oh, my God. What does he think?
And?
The characters, the story, the songs, what does he think? And she said, he just said, I'm all good with this. And I said, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And she said, well, it means he's all good with this.
I think they call it a green light.
Well,
maybe?
you don't know, do you? Like, I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So then I said, does that mean I get the songs? Can I use the songs? Because I need the songs. Mm-hmm. They're all in the script. And she said, he said, I'm all good with this. So...
Take your yes, move on.
Right. But of course, I still couldn't, because those of us who know, these songs cost a blooming fortune.
Yeah, right.
And I had 19 of them in the film.
You did.
So I just had to check again and said, can I use all the songs? Will
sure?
It be okay? Yeah. And Tracy said, go make your freaking movie. He said he's all good with this. And that's literally what happened.
As you then developed it, did you ever sort of feel like the specter of Bruce was...
Oh, my God.
You know, were you worried? Did it influence you? Or, you know,
Definitely.
How did you deal with that as you made it?
Well, I knew that we had to write a script that he would like. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing. I went and raised the money and started working on the screenplay, initially with Safraz. And then I took over, really, and said, right, I need to make this work. It happened at the same time as Brexit. And when Brexit happened in England, it was really scary and really upsetting, because overnight it was like someone switched the xenophobia switch on.
We can understand.
Yeah. Okay.
We get it.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But there were videos going viral of people getting on buses and shouting abuse at elderly black women who'd worked in our hospitals. I mean, it was the fabric of society was just crumbling around me. And I was getting very, very upset about this. And the context for me was, you know, my dad, who sadly is the dad in Bend It Like Beckham, and he died before the film. So I made that film actually for him. But before that, my dad had been very upset in England, and he said, whatever you do, you must open a bank account in India. And I was like, why? You know, this is home. And he had been really disturbed by former Yugoslavia and the fact that ethnic cleansing had been happening on our doorstep, really, in Europe, to a mass scale. And I just sort of dismissed him and said, no, Dad, blah, blah, blah. But then when this moment happened with Brexit, it really was, oh, my God, is this what people really think and feel? And it was disturbing, you know, especially if you're a parent and you have kids, you know.
Sure.
And I thought, I need to do something about this. What can I do to show the other side? I don't believe people are like this. I don't believe the majority of people think like this. And I think the problem is that politicians that can't always get on platforms and speak about the positivity of diversity because it sounds soft, you know, especially when the haters and the right wing have the platforms, you know, and have the airspace. And so I thought, right, the best thing I can do is make a film about this to show the other side, the antidote. And then that's when I took over the script and I poured all my anger and frustration and fear about xenophobia, basically, and what I was seeing around me in Brexit into this movie. Now, at the same time over here, there'd been talk of a wall going up, but that was about it. Everything that happened after that happened after the movie. So it's incredible to see how, you know, relevant the film is not just here, other countries as well, where there's a rise of the right.
Vivek, he's wonderful. And how did you find him, and how important was it that he could sing?
It wasn't important that he could sing, because it wasn't a musical like that.
Right.
The singing is all very realistic, and some of the singing was appalling. And because they were often singing with Bruce in their headphones,
Right.
so they thought they were singing in tune.
Right.
Oh
like
my
a music
God.
video.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of ADR.
Couldn't carry.
A lot of ADR. Some of it was really bad. But he wasn't supposed to be a singer. And with Vivek, he came in and he auditioned, and I'd seen him on a TV show before. I think what it is something about new talent that I find appealing because they trust me, They trust me. He's still at college. He's left now. He's dropped out. But he was at acting school in Wales, and I just saw something in him, same spark that I saw in Keira Knightley, and Aaron Taylor-Johnson, I have to say. But I think with Vivek, I think there's an instinct that I see, and then I feel like, okay, are they going to trust me on the journey? And then I bring my experience to them, what they lack, I then try and bring that to them. And, it's sometimes what you don't know, so they might not know that they're not experienced enough, So it's our job, certainly my job, to instill that confidence in them and take what I saw as the spark of their intuition, and pull that out into a cinema performance. So I did work, quite extensively with him, and he had a little notebook of his journey. But I couldn't have done it without the fact that he had fantastic instincts. And so I was able to go on the journey with him to create that performance.
We thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Please help me thank
you.
Gurinder.